Hello, and welcome back to my podcast. I am your host, Branson Kaiser, and today we have a very special guest with us, Luis Perez, the Kappa Sigma president, to help share the end of his story titled A Brotherhood for a Lifetime. How you doing, Luis?
Hello, Branson. I'm doing really well. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay, man. So, through your time here, we've seen you grow not only as a person, but as a leader throughout your whole time as a president. And I'm just going to be asking you a few questions today to help round off your story and to help share with the viewers of how you've grown. So, I guess my first question that I'm going to ask you today, we'll dive right into it, is what have you learned about leadership and yourself through this role as fraternity president?
Yeah, Branson. Serving as president, that taught me that leadership isn't just about holding a title. It's about service and also continuous growth. Personal growth. I learned that true leadership, means empowering others and actually listening, right? Setting an example through actions rather than words.
Yeah, that will definitely play a huge role in anything you do. I mean, we talk about life here, and it's like, what do you really get out of it that helps you so much? So that's a really good answer. My next question will be, how has the fraternity changed during your time as president?
Yeah, so during my time as president, the fraternity has become more diverse and inclusive. This is a good thing because it has brought new perspectives and energy to the chapter. We also made a real shift in our culture, moving toward one that is, more accountable, unified, and really focusing on personal growth. Brotherhood, means more than just hanging out. It means right now at this moment, it means more about supporting each other, showing up, holding each other to a higher standard. And I'm proud to say that we've became a stronger, more well-rounded chapter that really reflects the values of this fraternity and the values that we stand for.
Awesome. Awesome. So, as you're getting kind of close towards the end of your presidency, I know you've made impacts on a bunch of people. What do you think your legacy will be once you leave? What mark would you have set? Like, what standard would you have set for the fraternity?
So I definitely believe that once my time here is comes to an end, I'll be remembered as that person who really helped change the culture of the chapter for the better. I want to be remembered as someone who raised the standard, pushed us to be number one in everything we do, and build a foundation that future brothers can really grow from. More than anything, I would love that I would want that the chapter to look back and say that that was the turning point where we became stronger and more united.
I think that's a great answer. It's great to be in that position, especially for yourself. I know I've got the chance to talk to a lot of the brothers, and they say that you've done a phenomenal job. I know you've told me that you guys have had your formal, I think, in this past weekend, and that you won a bunch of awards. When we talk about, or when you talk about the chapter and how you've made impacts on it, what has the chapter looked like before to now as your president?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. Definitely I would say the atmosphere of the chapter has really changed. It used to feel divided at some times and, really unmotivated, and maybe sometimes even negative. But, one thing we did during this term was kind of sit back and look what was causing that. And a lot of that was due because, we were putting in a lot of work for these awards and everything that's required from us, whether that's philo, philanthropy hours, community service, fundraising. The brothers were just burnt out. As much as we like to say that, as much as me and all the brothers do love helping out the community and all of that, the other reason why we joined was for the brotherhood, right? And that was something that we were lacking. We were lacking the brotherhood aspect of it, and this semester we really switched it up, and we realized we needed a balance. We needed to work hard and play hard, is what we like to say. And since then, the chapter's been good. Ability is there. Everybody's doing their part. We're ready to go. We're actually fueled up.
Luis, we talk a lot about leadership, or I guess you talk a lot about leadership. What really motivates you to be a leader in your chapter?
Yeah, what it might sound cliche or whatever, but what really motivates me is the brothers itself, right? I was elected and installed as the president for a reason. They believed in me. They believed in my abilities to lead them. And so that's what really drives me. It's also the desire to be part of something that's bigger than ourselves. We're driven by the bond that we share and the pride that we have in our chapter. And finally, the legacy we're building for those who come after us. We just keep pushing each other to grow, and we show up when it matters. And at the end, we know that what the work we put in today will set the tone for the future.
Awesome. Okay. Kind of getting towards the end here. If you could go back in time, what would you do differently with the chapter?
That's a really hard question. To be honest, I don't think I would really change anything. Every decision I made, whether that was good or bad, taught me something.
You are.
It taught me something, and it taught them something. It helped shape the chapter into what it is today, and the challenges, the wins, and even the tough moments that we had all played a role into getting us into the point we're at right now. And I believe growth comes from experience, and I'm proud of the journey we've all taken together. So I wouldn't change anything.
Awesome. All right, Luis, I got one more question for you. What advice would you give to the next president or to your younger self?
No, this is something that I asked myself, and when I first became president, I asked the previous president. And there's not really a right or wrong answer, but what the advice I would give to the next president would be, you can't make everyone happy, and that's okay. As president, you'll make tough decisions that not everyone agrees with. But at the end of the day, if you're acting in the best interest of the chapter and staying true to your values, you're doing your job. And leadership isn't about popularity. It's about doing what's right, and even when that's hard. So just stay focused on the bigger picture and be fair, and don't lose yourself trying to please everyone. That's what I would tell the next person stepping up in that role.
Awesome, Luis. Great job on answering those questions. I know some of them were a little bit tough. I want to thank you for your time, and then I also want to thank the viewers who are going to be watching this. Thank you guys for tuning in for the, I guess, first ever episode of my interview podcast, and I hope you enjoyed Luis's story. Really, what I saw from you was just a bunch of growth, and I see that in this day and age, it's really hard to grow into something that's so remarkable, and you've had the confidence to do it. And telling us about your story from when you first began, I honestly would have never expected you to be in this position, so I'm really glad you surprised me with that. But again, I wanted to thank you, Luis, and thank everyone else. So thank you for your time, and have a good day, buddy.
No, thank you, Branson. I just wanted to say something really quick to the viewers. Rush Kappa Sig. Thank you. Bye.
There we go. All right.